It is for some reason I forgot, but yeah, Nurse, Oni, and Blight. So two high tier killers in this, but the Oni is a bit of a what do you call it? Bit of a road bump pick. Maybe we'll see some change of perks. But tonight on this rodeo, I'm accompanied with Mr. Austin. How are you doing, Austin?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I have just played 2 tournaments for today, and I have around like another one coming in this afternoon. But as we do speak, Two Teacher does get a really quick hit onto new here on the bottom side of the map. I also noticed something about the perks, Tavi. If you haven't noticed, Two Teacher actually brought I think it was Bamboozle, was it? I think that's restricted. That's due to the reasons that he will be playing Oni later. That's why he has decided to also equip his perk on Nurse. So as we do speak, we do have New here up on Shack, having a really good first hit, I would say, utilizing his balance landing, but unfortunately going down. We do not really see a high progress onto those generators, but 2D here having his first down at the beginning of the game, getting his hook into the mid map here. I would say it's a pretty decent start for 2D for KaitOkids.
Well, it's a good start, but on technical end, I think we might just have to confirm something. There's a disconnect. So I guess a bit of information about the perks and the builds, and understandably on a nurse set, where you do have deliverance as pretty much like the best, one of the best perks available. You don't want that survivor to be found and identified as deliverance right off the bat. So yeah, two teacher will load in. Doesn't necessarily know who deliverance is anymore, but could definitely be the same. Could be different. As we do take the next chase here. Very interesting pathing actually coming from the survivor. Very nicely done actually, just utilizing the edge map to break line of sight. And it's going to be Sen taking this chase. Does have a medkit and actually not that strong of a build, so we'd actually see a bit of a nice first chase yet again. A bit of a nice first target as well for two teacher, but yeah, it's all down to this, and two teacher actually respects Light here, so yeah, Sen should just make it back to Shack and continue this chase.
I mean, the Stars are definitely having a way better start than the previous trial. I mean, at least getting live chase, I think, is presumably better than balance landing. And Sen here doing an incredible job, buying as much time as possible, walking to the edge map here. And Two Teacher actually messing up the blinks. I don't think this is gonna do him such a good part as Sen here, just traveling all the way to edge 6 here, and does unlucky. It does manage to die H6. I don't know if Two Teacher is going to be hooking under the basement here though, as he wants to prioritize his top gens, as this is Cold Tower where most of his gens will belong there. But I mean, taking the hook there onto 6 edge here, deciding to bring onto the mid map, I think he might want to go check on his mid map gems like on 3 here on the TNL walls.
Yeah, I see quite often that players like to hook in the basement, and I think two teacher made the correct decision there not to take Sen into the basement for the first one. I I think I would guess that the chase was a little bit too long, and two teacher might have thought that hooking in the basement was a little bit too risky. I personally think it's a bit risky to hook in the basement as an S tier because a lot of the time you're not going to be able to completely camp it out without losing a lot of generators. And if the survivor does manage to sneak in there, or something like that happens, there could be some really annoying play come through. And it seems like Two Teacher doesn't even want to care about tumbling out Sen at all. Just wants to go for our next survivor, who is Cash. And we do see that he has Dead Heart and DS, so switching targets, mate, maybe won't be the most optimal play if Two Teacher does want to get a tunnel out. But it's still, I would say, still fairly early on the trial. Usually as the nurse though, you do want to have a survivor on second hook around this time or close to this time. So maybe he's got maybe two teachers got some strategy that I'm not entirely aware of. But yeah, usually I see nurse go ahead and tunnel out the survivors as quickly as possible. And now in this spot, sort of lost a bit of the pressure. Now he's very far away from hook. Nu's gonna activate bounce landing here, presumably, and make his way away from the main building. And yeah, somehow Gospel have managed to spread the aggression really well and also get full resets on. So that's really well done by them. And Two Teacher, I think, needs to catch up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do understand why two teacher has decided to go, to the more, um, you how do we call it, public type, where you hook everyone once here, as we do see, two teacher getting the nice down on new here and getting his third fresh. I mean, he did have his first hook. I mean, both first two hooks on the bottom side of the map, where his three gens were away. So maybe two teachers assuming that this match might be able to be might lead to outs, and he's trying to play for as much hook stages as possible. But he does have a great hook here on to the top mid side of the map, and especially having that pop there onto the main building, where it was definitely the most high progress gen. Oh, we do see 11 here popping though. Two teachers spotting. I believe it is Cash. No, not Cash. Andrew, his last fresh here on the bottom side map. Not deciding to go for full pubs here, not chasing Andrew. Goes back to the hook. Oh, but the Survivors does get a good timing here to get a clean pull onto New here. Two teacher taking the BT hit here. New sending it all the way down onto Shat. I don't think two teacher can chase this. I don't think he can afford this though, unless he gets a clean two tap here, and he does get it. And this actually might start to spell problems here, as New is most definitely gonna get hooked on towards the middle side of the map, or potentially onto the top side of the map, the same exact hook as the top mid. And now we do see Asura working onto the main building gen, but I don't think that is going to pop due to the eruption being proc there. He does spot someone out here onto the 9 here, deciding to go for the kick here, but the gen isn't as progress as they would want to. So I still think there are still chances for two t-shirts to 4K1, especially the gens are relatively close to the hook top.
Yeah, it's a beautiful follow-up onto Nu. I thought Nu was, fine after taking the BT hit and breaking line of sight, but Two Teacher, of course, has other plans. That's why this set was picked. That's why usually you'd want to ban away the nurse if Two Teacher is available on the day, but yeah, I guess our survivors have to make do with what they have. Andrew's trying to pressure the gen. Fairly aggressive, doesn't have Spin Burst 99, but is kind of playing off the fact that another survivor's coming in. Right there, we do see Sen take down Hook, and yeah, Andrew's gonna work the gen for a little bit longer, but unfortunately, Nu really doesn't have too much to play off. I'm actually sort of interested to know why Two Teacher is not picking up Sen. I guess it's gonna think about taking tag onto Andrew, but Andrew got away from that, so now it's back onto Nu. Someone has to pick up Sen now. And even if they do get that gen done, Nu's actually just caught him in the open. He's completely dead. So, wow, just I'm still amazed by Two Teachers Nurse. That's incredible, and all that resolves into a kill at 2 generators left. Perhaps Andrew's gen is somewhat high, but Two Teachers on the way back.
I mean, I think it was a gamble play by two teachers to go for the down onto Sen there and allowing New to run all the way back to Shack. I mean, usually things could go wrong on that circumstance. An example would be New getting the stealth off, but teacher does manage to make it work by finding him and getting a really quick down into New, spilling the tunnel out, or not early tunnel out, but it is still quite on pace of 4K if you were the killer player in this position. Gospel, however, has had resets here, and now full 3 survivors are fully healed, and they're opting to play this slow as they know that they can't afford to give out many tags in this situation. They don't particularly have a 3 gen to worry about though, as we do see a gen there on 7, a gen on 5, and one on main and one on around, I would say, 10-ish. So they do still have that going for them. So Two Teacher might want to look out for stealth here, as Andrew here is spotted out in the open, but Two Teacher missing the blink here. Andrew is gonna have to run all the way down into the bottom, as some of his teammates are probably working the gens on top here. He does have sprint burst, so that is the saving grace which was used, and he also has deliverance here. So going down here on edge map, does Two Teacher know that he has deliverance? No, that is the answer. So Andrew here is just gonna get value from this perk, and I think this is where problems for Two Teachers start, where no survivors have to come to the pool, and there is no pressure currently on survivors, as Andrew will be able to unhook himself within a second right after this.
Yeah, and I think there is even power in Andrew's hands, not just taking the unhook right away, because he kind of knows that the other two survivors will be playing very, very patiently. This is not your average team. This is Gospel. This is one of the strongest teams, I think, that are in this tournament. So they're just playing very, very patient. Andrew on the hook. And whether two teacher, again, whether they know that it is Deliverance, decided to hook and kind of cut off the other survivors, I'm still not sure. But yeah, Andrew sitting on the hook might just let and lull two teacher into a bit of a false sense of security, because this unhook should come through soon. It's going to be a self unhook. And I think the time that our other survivors have just to put small bits into the gens definitely fully makes up for sitting on the hook themselves. Because yeah, two teachers probably wanting to get back to the hook, to go after Andrew again after the unhook, the self unhook does happen. But you can't really do that because the gens are also being progressed. Sen does get caught out though. That's a beautiful blink from two teacher. And although Sen has the main building, I don't think it's Light, so he has to make something happen here. But it is Sen, so maybe the magic will be enough. But he doesn't get away. It's not far enough. And he goes down. And now I guess this is where two teachers' earlier hooks might come and pay off, because now Sen is only 17 seconds away from dying. So yeah, because of that, maybe that will just force Gospel's hand a little bit. And yeah, oh, they double the gen. Oh my god.
Yeah, they do pop it. So, I was gonna say that it was an interesting choice where Sen decided to work on 8 instead of main building, because I mean, obviously, if you wanted to make sure that you at least get a 4K one, you would work on main because that is the furthest gen away. However, I think Gospel are trying to play for outs because if two teacher noticed that 8 was in progress, then he would absolutely want to cap that bottom 3 gen, and then that would probably result in a 4K1. So Gospel here are trying their best to play for out, as they do know that Nurse on this, maybe balancing wise, would potentially be better if the survivors got out here. So we do see a quick onto Sen here on the top side of the gens. But two teachers here spotting out cash in the open, does get it, and the DH does not come through. So that will be the down cash, and that will also be the second stage here, Tabi onto cash.
Yeah, second stage. That dead hard, unfortunately, just I guess pre-fired a little bit too early for cash, and that really should keep two teacher confident going for this 4K1. The gens might have some pressure on them, and the other two survivors, Sen and Andrew, did not reset, and they definitely had an opportunity to. So the fact that they didn't means that the gens are high progress, and there was that chance that a gen popped, but now obviously two teacher hasn't seen that gen pop, so that chase was short as well because the DH did miss, unfortunately. So he can just afford to take his time, maybe catch out one of our survivors. It is in fact Sen around the main building, actually pre-left, has a lot of distance here, might be able to make it a little bit further down or into the map, and actually doubles back at the perfect timing to make more distance. So yeah, I think this chase is going to be extremely critical. If Sen can make this last a little bit too long, could perhaps scare two teacher away back into the generators, and then maybe Gospel can make a play. That's 2 full blinks avoided by Sen. He's still playing this beautifully, goes for the double back, and two teacher was not expecting that. The light comes through.
Yeah, Sen, the light comes through.
Oh my god.
Sen, I think manages to survive just in time and gets a double back here there. I'm not too sure if this chase was just enough for the gen on the bottom side to pop, and I think it is. I think that was the chase of the match, actually, like the deciding chase where either two teacher gets a quick 2-tap and then Gospel does not pop the final gen as they were doubling, or Sen just what he just did, lasting just enough time for them to pop and potentially get out of this match. Teacher here spotting out Cash on the edge here. He does ideally want to find Andrew, however, as he will get 2 more stages rather than 1 stage here by downing Cash here, but decides to go for Cash, and Cash finally lands the DH here, and especially on this ping, what an incredible play from Cash here. I think he might want to go for lockers here, and that will be the locker play, as he does want to force a grab here, but two teacher actually gets it down there. Cash maybe a bit too impatient there, decides to hop out, but I do understand as he has had the mending state here. And oh, Andrew here actually getting the pull onto Sen here. I think this might be an around 9 stage game actually, Tabi, from the survivors.
Yeah, 9 stages from a death at, I believe, 3 generators is very impressive.
2, yeah.
2 generators, okay. I wasn't sure if it was two or three, but they managed to pop two generators on a nurse on ping. I think the main reason for that is just it all started from Andrew's deliverance. They managed to pop that generator at I believe it was 5. They doubled it out, and it was only possible because of the extra time bought by either side. And then the penalty actually came in. We did forget about it, both me and Austin. So
Mhm.
that penalty is actually pretty harsh. It was 2 stages penalty for KaitOkids. And that
Yes.
means that, of course, that KaitOkids have to get not 9 stages, but 7 stages and 4 fresh to tie, which is going to be a lot more difficult for them to do. But if there is a team that can do it, KaitOkids can certainly, yeah. Um, Yet again, we are reminded, Austin, of Andrew being on gospel. Andrew, because we see that doggy doggy woof woof perk according to according to
I have
Yasser.
I have no say in this, but I believe that is maybe Bloodhound. I'm not too sure either how it works, but we do see New here spotting out Stenoros right into the middle of the map here, getting a really nice first hit here as Stenoros approaches the top side of the map here, having clear line of sight of him. New Blink Swords onto the 10 side of the map, fatigues here. So we do see on the UI here that Gunther and Quinner are probably doubling up the gens here. Senra is doing a really great job there here. I mean, pathing down towards bottom side of the map onto the edge here, and New sends the second blink and gets the quick down here. So I think that is a great start from New getting that first quick down. But the Saras, however, are really efficient here, doubling up the gen, and I think they will be popping that first gen for this first chase.
Yeah, they do pop it successfully. However, they don't have much pressure across the rest of the board. It is, yeah, it's kind of interesting because I don't remember if Gospel were able to pop the first gen for the chase, but because they had a good amount of pressure elsewhere, they had kind of a bit more of a kickstart when Sen took the chase. And of course, Two Teacher didn't decide to tunnel out Sen afterwards, so they had plenty of time to keep on pumping the pistons. So yeah, you can see KaitOkids starting the second generator of the trial, well, technically the third one, but starting to work on the second one is Gunther, and there's not really too much sign of life around the hook. There's Queen actually coming in with the deli, but it's a little bit far away and has to rotate a little bit more difficult. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear
Um.
indeed.
Oh dear, indeed.
What has
I'm
happened?
assuming that Kunir is probably stealthing for the pool. Not too sure if he does get it or not because there is a slight game crash onto our side of it. So we'll be seeing. Okay, and it is up back again. So Kunir does get a trade onto San Ross here. New taking the trade, the 1-for-1 here, and decides to hook Kunir onto the bottom side of the map here. Kunir, however, does have Deliverance up in the sleeve, so that will be the saving grace here. As New blinks towards the 3 side of the map here, tries to go after San Ross here. However, the KaitOkids Soraris team has popped their second generators on the top side of the map, so this will be a race against time if New is able to find his tunnel out, or will he go for New Freshes as he only needs, I believe it is 8 stages to win for this first set. He does walk towards the resetting spot here up to him, but does not find anyone here, so will be opting back to blink back onto the hook and possibly cam out his bottom 3 gens here, as we do see a gen onto the mid map, a gen on 5 and a gen on around 7-ish.
Yeah, sorry for that. That was a bit of a, that was just a technical issue thanks to the game, but yeah, I hope we're back now. I do like Nu's decision to spread the hooks out. It's going to be playing around more second chance perks, but it is of course way better to go for a stages win condition when you have a lot of fresh hooks. And with the rate of how he's getting the hooks, I was gonna say perhaps that win condition could turn into a 4K, but Two Teacher does just a miracle like double back on the edge wall and makes his way over here to the top side. So much better death spot for him. Unfortunately, he still goes down, of course, but uh, now Nu has to put in a bit more effort to get him to the bot side, which won't be too successful. Too successful. Does make the mid hook though. So it is pretty satisfactory at this moment. But yeah, KaitOkids have a lot of pressure right now. They have probably, I would say, two gens cranking very, very high. This one's around 40%, and there's not really too much sign of life around it. So here comes the pop. And yeah, it's just, I guess, the way I think KaitOkids do go for this win in this first set is they just really make use out of the second chance perks as much as possible because yeah, as you all know for comp, when you tunnel out someone, you're only dealing with potentially one decisive strike, one dead hard. But when you start splitting the hooks, then you have to deal with uh, plot twist. You have to deal with if you decide to suck, unbreakable, four different exhaustion perks, which you won't know until you chase them once, and of course deliverance, and so many other strong resources that start getting activated as the hooks come in. So there's main gen popping, and here comes actually a successful unhook from Queenia. So that's nicely done. Unfortunately, two teacher can't prevent the down from happening, but it did buy a bit of time for KaitOkids to continue working the gens. Yeah, now that Nu has nearly collected half of the win condition, it still seems really likely, but considering that like the gens are still fairly high, it could all just collapse on Nu, and like the gens could just pop fairly quickly without much notice on our end. So
Yeah,
it's up to them.
I mean, I'm not really sure if that was a play from KaitOkids there to get the. I mean, it was great that they didn't trade for the 1-for-1, but however, this does spell some problems as you do now have a tunnel out pulled here that is clear here up on the top side of the map, while you still have your 3 gen to worry about as survivors, as you have not popped a single generator from this 4 gen. I would say actually on the bottom side of the map. It's not really type 4 gen, but it is still regardless of 4 gen here on the bottom side of the map. We do see Quinnier, however, taking his chase onto the bottom side of the map, trying to buy as much distance as possible, but that will not be working out as he will be exiting the match at around the same pace as the survivors from the previous game has done, which is at around 2 generators left. We do see the aura coming out from Eruption here as they are doubling out the 3 gen here onto the 5 gen on the bottom side of the map. Nu here, I think will be making just in time before he pops here. Gunther is gonna have to stealth in order to continue and try to pop this gen. But however, Nu spots him out on the backside of the tile here and probably gets a quick 2-tap here, and there he goes down. And I think this will spell a really bad situation for the KaitOkids survivors, Tabi.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just weren't able to put enough progress into the gens heading into the 3v1. And Nu knows that they only need pretty much 2 more stages to go for. Well, not two. Why did I say 2 stages? 3 stages to go for the tie. I think I was probably thinking about kills. Like 2 kills would be very much a win for Nu at this moment. But yeah, this hook is already extremely good for them. This gen does pop though at 7, so KaitOkids did have a lot of progress. It's just got interrupted by Queenio's down, and yeah, that penalty really changes the dynamic of this final kind of slog in the 3v1. Usually in the nurse set, you're going to be going back and forth between generators, and then whoever starts making mistakes is the one that cracks under pressure. But at this point, I think KaitOkids is the one that have to make the play. They can't really be sitting too passively. They have to somehow make something happen because yeah, again, at the moment, Nu is just 1 stage away from the tie condition, and they still have a lot of gen progress to go. Do KaitOkids if they want to go for the Tycon, because they need to pop the gen, number 1, and then number 2, they also have to get pretty much everyone out the door as well to make sure that they win. And actually, wow, two teacher nearly makes his way away from that, but unfortunately it's not enough, and that's the Tycon being achieved. So realistically, Nu does just take the win here, but
As he
yeah, it was a
camps
good
it
fight. It
down.
was a good fight.
Yeah. But I mean, if you are in KaitOkids survivor's position here, you need to pull two teachers. You need to first pop the gens, then open the gates, then you have to pull and make sure that all three of them goes out if they want to at least tie this match. So, and we do see New here gets a clean pop on the gen here on 9 here and does get a chase here. I believe it is probably Gunther, I would assume on this shack here on in this area. I'm not too sure about this. Yeah, it is Gunther and or Steinroth. I'm not too sure. I mean, both of them were here at this one point of time here, but it is going to be Steinroth here up to the chase of the match. If he wants to tie this match, he will need to last. As I do speak, he does get tagged here in a really bad position as he is now stuck on the bottom side. But New here, not feeling confident that he will be taking it down as quickly as possible. Wants to prioritize his gens here on the left side of the map. I believe does not spot anyone out here, so decides to blink back and tries to pressure the survivors to stay on the bottom side. We do see Gunther here running towards 3 and tries to go die on the top side of the map here, but it will be edge map here as New walks down Gunther and gets a clean 1 blink down, and that will be the win for Gospel for the first set up onto this quarterfinals matchup.
Yeah, it's just, I think, very unfortunate that the penalty resulted in this spot, because if KaitOkids did not have that penalty, then this position that they're in right now would still be actually winnable. And if Gunther was camped out and hooked, that would be a tie. So yeah, that penalty really deciding the set in favor of Gospel in this first set. And yeah, no, I think still putting up a very good performance on Nurse, of course. Not really the same pace as the previous trial. Like, he's still getting a lot of downs, but he's not really playing to tunnel anyone out too hard, I guess. Hard for me to say, because technically he did tunnel out Quinio, but it felt quite different to your average Nurse tunneling out at as soon as possible at like 2 gens remaining, and that's the final gen popping, so there's some potential for other survivors to make it out the trial, perhaps. Gunther's found out, so that is one stage for New if he does want to take it, but I think he's a bit more interested in going to the other gate. Unfortunately, Gunther can't make the shack ballot, so he goes down, and New is checking the wrong gate, so I guess that does mean that Rose makes it out the door, resulting in 10 stages, but unfortunately 10 stages is just not enough. It's actually baiting New to blink here, so Gunther can get hatched, but New's not falling for it. So yeah, 10 stages for KaitOkids. Good result, but unfortunately not enough. So
I mean, regardless, it was really close. I mean, if you're not accounting for the penalty, it was 9 stages for Fresh to 10 stages for Fresh, and we did have a similar end game where the last down was down in the position where the last gen
took away the set win on the Nurse, which was KaitOkids' pick. So now it is up to Gibbsy's Oni to Gibbsy. It's up to Gibbsy to see if they can take this away, or if KaitOkids will put up a fight. Now, I do think, Austin, I do think, well, number one, I'm actually a bit curious to see Sen not playing the killer, but yeah, Gibbsy, Oni, still very strong, of course. Number two, Oni, on KaitOkids' side, might be Gunther, so we might get to see Gunther's Oni come through, which would be a wonderful treat for us to witness if that comes to that. But yeah, Gibbsy's Oni has the bamboozle that's going to shut off the pallet and the window, and yeah, 2Teacher continues his chase. Might actually get hit here because of ping, so wouldn't be surprised if the swing comes through. Yeah. That's a very early hit coming through.
I mean, I think 2Teacher there made a mistake. I think he got a bit stuck on the barrels, I would like to call it, and despite that, he decided not to go for the other pallet, and I think we do see another stuck here, and that will be the instant down onto 2Teacher as he gets tapped here. And however, we do see the survivors of KaitOkids' side doubling the mid-map gen right there and pops it. We do see Gibbsy opting for the hook behind me. Not too sure if he knows that Senra is working on the gen there onto the one side, decides to go for the pallet kick and probably wants to grab his power if he does have enough orbs. So he's looking towards the top side gens here, and I think he does spot someone out here on the jungle gym who was working onto this gen. Gets a clean pop and eruption applied onto this generator. Tries to find Senros and does spot it out here, and I'm not too sure if this will be the tag. Senros has a jungle gym to work with here, similar to two T-shirt here. Gets a nice path in here, but on ping, this might be a hit coming through, and oh, nice patience here coming from Senros, preventing the first hit just now, and gets a light up, and that will be the hit denied to Gibbsy here, and Gibbsy opting back to go for the camp here, but it's going to be a bit too late as Quinner does get the quick pull onto 2T here. 2T here will have to try his best to go towards the shack side as the rest of the generators are towards the top side here. And Gibbsy, despite that early down, does not have power. May have just cast a curse. He now has power. Is going to walk towards the top side of gens, and I think he will be changing his new target and not tunneling out as he wants to prioritize his 3-gen up here onto the top side.
Oh, and Nervous is gonna get found out at the backside of the jungle gym window. Yeah, very strange spot for the trial to be in. 2Teacher, I think that chase was a little bit too short, but as a consequence to that, Gibbsy was not able to get full power, and then somehow Nervous just has a miracle ping advantage over Gibbsy. So this first power is only going to come through at 3 gens, despite the first down pretty much coming on the first gen. And Gunther's found out here, but he does have this fairly safe filler. Gibbsy is going to... Oh dear. That is certainly a way to play a pallet on ping against the Oni, and Gunther surely is going to be feeling confident in this next chase. Pop's still kicking quiet. I don't know if Gibbsy actually knows where he is. Has some demon pathing, oh my gosh, and gets away from the jungle gym just like that. But Gibbsy's on his tail, does get the down, and that was a very nice chase though by Gunther to just delay the power as much as possible. Nervous might get reset in the background just in a bit, so Gibbsy's probably left with close to no power, and that's just a really good kind of counter pressure from KaitOkids to bring back what I thought was a really difficult start for them. So they're going to work with still the hook in the top side, which is not ideal, but it's better than having someone on hook against an Oni that has full power. So yeah, right now Gibbsy probably a little bit hungry for some blood, and Gunther's actually just happy to play the power. I don't know why you're doing this. You can just take the main window if you want, but I guess he's just gonna try his best to not get movemented around this pallet.
I mean, Gibbsy trying his best here to mind game Gunther, but not working out yet. But he does have Bloodlust 1 to deal with as Gunther sends it to the other middle rock filler here. Gibbsy still playing for the Bloodlust hit here. I don't think Gunther makes anything though, so that'll be the down and the second stage coming to Gunther as Chuck is about to pop right in on his face here. I think Gibbsy knows this, however, does try to go for a bit of a cheeky play, possibly trying to get a free hit onto 2T, but 2T knowing this gets a window vault here on Shaq, and Shaq does pop here, so Gibbsy will be taking the hook onto the top side of the map as his 3-gen resides. So with this, we could see some interesting happens if Gibbsy doesn't manage to get power. I think he spots someone here on the TNL walls here, but I don't think we'll be getting the chase here as he will be kicking the gen on the jungle gym tile first. So he still needs a little bit of blood orbs here as he will need power to obviously do anything. He does have power, pops it immediately, and I think we'll probably go for Senros here. Just spot Senros here onto the bottom side of the map, tries to go around it, but Senros playing patiently here, gets a stun onto Gibbsy here, doing a great job here surviving, and Gibbsy opting to go back to the hook. Could possibly go for the tunnel out here as he knows that there probably isn't any high progress gen besides 3 here that he had already applied eruption for, and Gibbsy here getting the clean body block onto the pallet. Gunther not being able to drop it correctly here, gets the eruption pop. Gibbsy, being afraid of the Palisade Pirate, does not go for the immediate pickup and will try to find someone who is close or stealthing here for the Palisade. Does finally pick up, but there is no one here, so that'll be Gunther being taken out of the game as 1 gen still remains in this trial.
Yeah, and I think because that chase was not as long as the first from Gunther, there's going well, not the first like the killer, just like the first chase from Gunther. I think there's going to be enough blood on the map for Gibbsy to absorb into the next Demon Dash. Like he's probably at the 60 to 80% mark right now. This little pool will be a nice blessing for him, and yeah, just traverse the map a little bit more, and suddenly power is again within Gibbsy's grasp. Yeah. Oh, it's very close, but this blood pool should definitely do it. Um, like, and this is where it becomes difficult for the survivors. Unfortunately, again, if Gunther's chase was longer, I think they would have a good shot of just popping another gem because Gibbsy would have to perhaps commit further into the map. But because that chase was, you know, just didn't really run out the power too much, and also didn't allow the other gens to go too far progress. Now they just have to deal with this 3v1, which is quite difficult, considering all the gens are in a bit of an awkward position for the survivors, I would say. Pictured all on the east side. We do have no balance landing actually, but Gibbsy does spot out Quinio anyway, so yeah, bit of problems team. I don't think Quinio makes anything safe here. Should be going down in theory, so here comes a down, and yeah, this is where the Coal Tower 3 gen should really show here.
Yeah, and Gibbsy getting a really quick downhill will mean that he will be able to get his power right back up as he goes down to collect his blood orbs here. A really nice hook here for Gibbsy here on the top side, right in front of the main building here, right in the middle of his 3-gen actually. So, and especially with his power up here, Gibbsy is able to freely chase anyone and potentially gets another quick down here. Tries to go for the mind game and wins it here on this pallet here. And 2Teacher getting down here would cause trouble as Gibbsy is able to slug and go back. And if he does find Stenoros here, he'll get a double down here, two-man down here. But Stenoros doing a great job stealthing onto the mid-map here. Gibbsy, however, does spot Quinaria up on the main building as he runs down with Balance landing here onto the jungle gym with no pallet and does go down. So this will be the second stage coming onto Quinaria as we do speak.
Yeah, it's just hard for our survivors to make progress, of course. Once the Oni has the power and then starts following it up with downs, if the downs are not that short, if they don't take too long for the Oni to make that happen, then it's just going to be difficult to get out of this constant blood into demon dash into down kind of cycle. So I guess 2Teacher might have something to say about it. Actually, I was going to say goes to the unhook would be a bit strange, but he runs past the hook. That's the correct play. I don't know if he can make too much more distance though. Here comes a bounce landing, but it's unfortunately not enough. Gibbsy does swing to make that, and yet again, it's just going to be another hook on the board. More blood to capitalize on. I don't really see a way at the moment that KaitOkids can get out of this scenario, because now the next Demon Dash is going to be very, very it's going to be here very, very soon, and they're just stuck in a spot that's just getting worse and worse. More blood's being left on the map, more stages are being put on the board, and they just don't have enough gen pressure to make up for that because of that tunnel out. So I think probably power's going to get picked up very, very close, but unfortunately not enough for Gibbsy anyway. Probably a bit of a relief for KaitOkids. But yeah, okay, it does get popped now, so it's not really much else, I'd say, for this trial, because Queenie's going to get found. He goes down. Neuros is the only one left in the trial, and there's definitely no way this final gen is being popped. Though he does actually successfully stop Gibbsy, so there's maybe another shot Gibbsy. Oh my gosh. Nearly finds him, but
my.
Yeah. It seems like wraps at the moment, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, Gibbsy here is just probably gonna try to find Stenoros here on the I feel as he does finally spot him out, and he's not in time to go to the full, and unfortunately that would be the down onto the last survivor here. I mean, nice effort from the KaitOkids survivors trying to pull on the last second, so they maybe have another chance to possibly pop gens, but unfortunately it will be the 4K one for Gibbsy here. I mean, a really respectable result, I would say, for the Oni. We do occasionally see outs or 4K ones or 4K twos even, depending on the snowball potential of the killer and how the power is used. Either he gets stealth or either the first hit gets a bit later. I mean, everything can change. It's an Oni set, as we do know. So we have to see what presumably Gunther, will be playing killer, will be able to do on his set as killer for KaitOkids. He will need to 4K2 for a win, 4K1 for a tie, and
keep on fighting for a place in the semi-finals, because they're currently one set down from their pick of the nurse, which they did lose. So yeah, Gunther's got quite a bit of work to do. Does have pretty much the same build as Gibbsy going into this trial, and knowing his win con is 4K1, I think Gunther will have to play a little bit ambitious in some of the chances. So yeah, this will be quite a match and quite a treat, I think, for both of us to watch. Wow, there's actually a head-on survivor in the locker. Interesting. And yeah, that's Andrew. Hello, Andrew. Yeah, although 4K1 is, I would say, an unlikely result in the Oni. Two things that Gunther has for him. I know he's good at clutching, and also he has some very, very strong, ping advantage as well on the survivors, which was in the previous trial. But yeah, that clutch factor, I know he made a video on it, so I watched that one. That was cool. Yeah, this early tag though, I think is of course going to be very, very nice for Gunther too.
Interesting. Gunther, however, not going for the immediate down, as we do see Gunther opting out to minus 3 gen, I would say, mid map here onto the hill up on 3. So he does spot both Cash and I believe that was new here onto the not new, it was Sen who was doing the gen, and Sen here on the rock pallet and loses the mind game here, but Cash is going to pop that gen, however, and Gunther does have his power up really early, but it is going to cost him the first gen as he does pop it and spot someone out onto the water tower here. Having to deal with double windows here is new and is unable to win the mind game as Gunther gets a really quick down here, and I think this hook will be right on the middle map. What do you think, Tavi?
Like, this is what I mean. Like, you give Gunther the win con. There's just that. There's that universe, he goes for that win con, and I think this is that step on the path which is really necessary. This is a reset coming through. That was on to why am I blanking it? That was on to Andrew on the top side, and look at that, Gunther has another power coming through and sends it around his power, but oh Andrew, oh boy, you do not make that window, and that's going to be another down for Gunther, and he's just going to head straight back to the hook, trying to catch Cash off guard. Wants to deny that additional health state. But my survivors actually fakes the other way and somehow squeezes past Nu. So that is the second hook coming on, and every survivor in this trial is injured, and there's 4 generators left. Like, what a complete, like, I don't even know what to say. This is just insanity coming from Gunther. He shows up when he needs it. Maybe gets put on the channel if he wants it. And
one thing we can definitely say, Tavi, is that Gunther is locked in and he is playing his absolute best to not only to tie this win con, he wants to win so badly, as we do see 3 injuries off the board and 1 person being hooked right on in front of main in the middle of the region, I would say, as we do have gen on to 10 and a gen on mid map and a gen on 1, and main not being popped yet. Gunther popping the power here onto this rock pallet, breaks it, does not want to play any mind games with Sen here, and I think this will be the down of Sen here as Gunther uses power and his demon dash, and that will be the third down of the trial. I think there's just too much pressure right now for Gunther and blood orbs everywhere around the map. Tavi.
Yeah, and I like how he's not playing like, oh, I want to tunnel someone out because I'm in this great spot here with all injured plus like the downs that are coming through. He's just saying, okay, I hook you, all right, I hook you, and then I'm just gonna eventually get everyone to death and force more blood onto the map, because there's small bits of blood that have to come through. Force rotations as well. That's actually a rotation coming through by Cash, and Sen's gonna successfully body block for the time being. So perhaps a bit of relief for Gospel, but still, this spot that they're in is so bad. Sen's gonna run back into Gunther. That's a bit of a preemptive pre-leap, but you know what else can you do on 120 ping against this killer in power? So it's still nicely done though by Sen to run out the power, and they do pop a gen as compensation. But yeah, the fact that they pop the gen, Austin, means that they've accepted that Gunther is going to have the infinite power Oni, and
Yep.
they're going to just try play this out to the best of their ability. So I don't know what to say. He actually interrupts the gen in time. Oh dear.
And yeah, he gets a really good pop and interruption applied here, and he does collect his power. I mean, right now both of the sides, both killers and survivors, are, I mean, what in Thai we call are like um kind of muscle type, because right now we're not gonna reset, we're not gonna play it slow, we're definitely just gonna see who is going to be faster. For killer is that you're either going to be faster at killing, and for Cyrus is that you're going to be faster at popping the gens. So we have to see who win this muscle power, muscle competition here. So you do see Gunther here trying to go to fling onto New on the 7's palette here, and does not connect it, however, does get the mind game nicely here, and does not get the down here. New getting a really clean dodge, a clean flare, I mean, right here, and Gunther is going to opt out to go back onto the top side. I'm trying to find out, I believe it's Sen who is on his death hook right here. I don't know who he spots here up onto the one here, however, it is Cash, so it will not be the tunnel out for Gunther right now, and his power does run out just in time for Cash to make it all the way down onto the bottom side of the map. So Gunther will have to collect his blood orbs again and play for the next power.
Yeah, he does, but they won't have to travel too far because Cash led him over to this very high density blood pool here, and he's just gonna head back to News Gen where there's even more blood to capitalize on. So here's the next Demon Dash. Although the last one wasn't as successful, there's still plenty of time for Gunther to make the plays happen, to make the downs real, to make this win con achievable. And yeah, Gospel, I feel like they're the ones who have to be scared now. Although, okay, Noon does a very nice job evading the movement here by Gunther, and yeah, wonderful job. Unfortunately, goes down here, but it's still kind of problems because even if the gens start popping, there's so much power in eruption to just make them go back to a low position. Cash is going to get caught out on the pallet, unfortunately. A little bit indecisive, goes down, and now Gunther is in the control here. He has the reins. He wants to decide to go wherever okay, he's going back to the gen. I was gonna say, surely you don't go to main building, but yeah, he's gonna interrupt this gen. Actually find Sen here. The scratch marks of Sen, and Sen probably just goes down. I don't see a way that he can survive this. Oh, it's very close to the pallet, but not close enough. And that's the first death coming through, which surely Gunther will take in this position. And yeah, look at that. Maybe they can get the gen done in time, but okay, that's the problem. Then Gunther still gets this Tycon for sure. There's just no way if our survivors surely can secure another gen with 3 injured and so much blood on the map. But yeah, that's at least Tycon for survivors. Gunther nearly pulling into a win, which is insane to say. But yeah, there's still a bit of work left to be done for Gunther, of course. Can't take the foot off the pedal because, yeah, one slip up and it could definitely turn around. And considering there's a bit less blood on the map, because he's been on power more, there's no blood when you play power as Oni, so there's less blood on the map. So I guess if they can stealth out one power, then Gunther could be in a little bit worried. But I think at the moment, not really, because oh yeah, News also here. Even with BL, this is definitely not safe.
Yeah, especially when Gunther is about to pop his power here, as Gunther walks towards the jungle gym here and is going to try to mind game M1. I'm interested why he hasn't popped his power yet, as the Oni here is going to play a bit of a trapper M1 mind game, and New obviously not gonna fall for it. Does path correctly back here, and oh dear. Caster Curse, I maybe should now not said that. Never mind, Gunther gets an M1 down here, proccing the Eruption and spots Cash, I believe, trying to run onto main building, does not go for him, and goes for Andrew here on the Jungle Gym palette, and wins the mind game, and I think that will be 3 slug up here, as Gunther knows that Cash was around 1 at some point in time, but Cash here path really incredibly back onto the 1 tile, going for the immediate pull, and Gunther probably does not expect it, as we do see New being picked up by Casher. And Gunther comes back here and does not get the flick here onto New, which means that, oh, okay, I think New was trying to force locker, but hopped out a bit early. But, I mean, it's still fine. Gunther still is able to get his 2 slugs and probably 3 slugs, which probably shouldn't change anything. It's probably still be a 4k1 as long as nothing crazy happens next, Tavi.
Yeah, and it's just on the tail of Cash, but I think it's important to note here that Gunther does need to fresh hook Andrew. So if this chase does last a while, then there is actually a world where Gospel do take this set just based off the lack of tie. And I think Gunther's going for goes for the pickup onto the fresh. So yeah, good acknowledgement there, I think, by Gunther. Good recognition that the fresh hook is quite necessary. And it's still a very, very difficult spot to throw as the killer. You know, this like infinite blood, everyone's injured, and they're just all hooked on the side of the map as well. So it's just still very, very. You should still take some precaution to hook Andrew instead of forcing Cash into chase around main. But yeah, just continuing this, I think the way for our survivors, like Nu should in theory be going down. Realistically, they have to put all their eggs in one basket, and that basket should just be putting it into the gen, because I don't really see a... Okay, never mind, Cash is going for the unhook, but yeah, that's... Like, yeah, it's just going to be this cycle over and over again, which is, of course, worse than the 3v1. They can't get out of this death spot. They can't ever, you know, stop Gunther from abusing the power if he can. So yeah, it's just really, really difficult. I have to say though, that gen is cranking a lot.
Yeah, I mean, although he has cranked a lot, we do know that Gunther has pop interruption on his back pocket. I mean, the only way I see them popping this gen is if Gunther kicks for the gen too many times. Gunther not going for it down here as he spots out Andrew here going for the pull and does come back. You do see Cash right here tries to go for this pull and he does make the pull. However, it is still going to be the 2 slugs here. Gunther actually opting out to pick onto Cash here. Maybe his power is gonna run out at this point of time. So I mean, I think it would still result into 4k1 as long as Nu does not get this pull and Invishi does not. Gunther baiting out the drop down from Nu is going to get the final down, and that will be the 4k1, which is the tie for KaitOkids, which means that we will be moving on onto the tiebreaker, which is, I believe, is Blight, if I am correct, Tavi.
Yeah, you are correct there. It is the Blight on Gas Heaven to maybe take us out of the night. That being said though, I mean, look who's on the Blight for KaitOkids, and look who's also on the Blight for Gospel. So yeah, that's going... Well, it could actually be 2 Blights for Gospel, or 2 Blights for KaitOkids, but yeah. There'll be an incredible tiebreaker match coming your way very soon. Because yeah, Gunther secures this tie, and that's still KaitOkids. You know, Gunther is going to have quite a bit of confidence. You know, from going from what was potentially just a serious loss to, you know, maybe we can claw it back. Maybe we can go for the reverse sweep, Austin, and this is one of his favorite killers, at least from the last time he was playing the game. Yeah. I want to see if he can show up here on the Blight.
Oh no. Okay. Yep. I mean, Gunther, renowned for his Blight. I mean, yeah, I'm back. Renowned for the Blight. I think he would try to play for a bit of a slide onto that red car and want to get that first tag, but however, him missing the bumps, I think will play a crucial part as he does not get the first tag. Corrupt Intervention are already about to be halfway gone, and he has still not gotten his first injured. He does know that, however, that someone here is up here around the gas heaven side of the main building. So he is going to try and spot out anyone who is stealthing around here. Does not see anyone. Decides to rush all the way towards the 3 side of the map here. Does see a gen being worked on here and does see someone and tries to go for it, but New pre-dropping the pallet is going to safely make his way all the way back onto the jungle gym here around the 1 side of the map. So is going to get tagged here with Light and DS up on the board. So this is the ideal chase that you want to be getting if you are the Sorora side. Gunther showing why he's known for his Blight, getting the clean rushes and getting his first down right here in front of the main building.
Apart from that, perhaps a bit of a hiccup on that car loop. He's back into it. That was a very clean set of rushes, and maybe that's going to give him enough confidence to continue this out. Actually, baits out the unhook. Okay, fair enough, Gunther. But Gospel are not going to fall for it. They're not going to go for the early unhook just yet, because Cash is waiting in the main building. You can see right here, patient go for this unhook, and only is now perhaps rotating in for it. No, but again, patient. No, very, very patient around here. Unfortunately, showed the scratch marks, so now Gunther knows he's in here, which is really not that good because, he wanted to play this patient. Oh
no.
Dear. Okay, well, Gunther missed that rush, but there's still not really a chase that wants to be taken because, Cash is the one who wants to get the unhook here. So, it's usually better if you can delay as much as possible. Now there's a bit of time where Cash, unhooked, quote unquote, early, though it gets the deliverance. Maybe a bit of time you're being bought in addition to that. So yeah, Cash goes on the hook. Deli's going to be used, and actually Gunther, instead of going for Nu, opts to just rotate away, maybe finding out one of our other survivors. But Sen's already gone, so I guess no luck for Gunther here around this top side of the map. But he's looking very hard, and Sen just... Oh, okay, there's Sen.
Oh.
There he is, but he has the sprint burst, so he should be fine going into this. But yeah, ping means that he pops it early, and I don't think he has any resources around here. Oh, and he has the jungle gym, so he can go back to that, but... Man, it's like... I don't know what to say. It's like, somehow there's so many injuries on the board for Gunther, and like, if he can just get another good set of rushes on the board, maybe start going for snowballs, it could really be problems for Gospel.
Yeah, I mean, he does spot someone here in the main building, which will be Cash. As you see, I believe it was Deliverance actually being used. I'm not Deliverance, maybe FTP. I'm a bit confused. I mean, of which one of them were used at this point in the moment. And a DH coming early here and almost gets a flare, but unfortunately goes down as Gunther is able to flip back and hit him. So that'll be Cash going on to his second stage right here, Tavi.
Yeah, second stage for Cash does not have the DS because we saw before is on Nu, and that means Deadheart. I think if Gunther picked it up, he'll be a bit more cautious, maybe going for a pre-swing in the next one. Oh, why are there 2 jungle gyms on this map? Somehow, I don't know why, Austin, but like there's still like a stupid amount of jungle gyms in this game on some maps. But hey, whatever. It's RNG for a reason, man. But yeah, it's still Cash on the hook. Maybe the second gen is popping soon. I think Gunther still set himself up fairly alright for the resulting 3v1. If it does come to that, of course, because we don't know if that 3v1 will necessarily happen. Interesting luck herself.
Yep, wow. Interesting luck herself indeed. I mean, Andrew almost being caught there. I mean, if Gunther were to decide and start checking lockers, something funny could have happened here, and having 2 downs here while no one is coming for the pool is an insane pressure. I mean, a turnaround event, I would say, coming from Gunther here. And he does finally spot out Andrew here, who goes for the trade, and Gunther decides to go for the BT hit here. Does not want Cash to get any distance from main at all. So Gunther is going to be taking the body block hit onto Andrew here. So he's still able to keep Cash at bay here in front of main. So there's nothing really much for Cash to be dealing with other than the pallet in main and the pallet in front of main. Gunther will be opting to break this pallet immediately, as he does not want to prolong the chase any more further than currently. So he's going to have to work with everything he has here, and he does get a quick down to cash. Will be the tunnel out at 3 generators. I mean, more appropriately would be one generator remaining. I apologize, as New is going to pop another gen, and Sen has another ridiculously high progress gen back onto the 5 side of the map.
Yeah, but it's actually going to get interrupted. Gunther's here just in time to kick it with the pop goes the Weasel. So that is not going to be the 4th gen popping for our survivors. And instead, it's going to be a pickup, and perhaps New overstepped a little bit. There's going to be a trade of pickups, and I don't know if that was actually the play because, well, I guess maybe if they could get away, but now New's on the hook, and New's second hook as well. There's not really perhaps achieving too much going with that. So, yeah, maybe it's just one play that I think could turn this around in either side. But yeah, Sen gets this power stun, does keep the health stay for a little bit longer, and has more resources around here to play off. So, yeah, doing a very good job of just stalling out the game. But I would not be surprised if Gunther just leaves this very soon. There comes the Pop Goes the Weasel. There comes the Unhook 2. And it still seems really, really difficult for our survivors to force out this last gen if Gunther can, get the rushes in check. Which, it's Gunther. He should get these rushes in check. And that's just nice movement coming over this filler. And they can't get the gen done in time because of eruption. So yeah, that just keeps on going in Gunther's favor at the moment.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the 4K2 is definitely up on board here, as we do see Gunther going back towards the gen and tries to get a tag, and an extremely great flare from Sen coming out here does manage to avoid the hit. So that'll be Gunther going back to kick the pallet and possibly going for the pickup, as he wants to apply that Pop Goes the Weasel onto the gen right beside his hook. So, I mean, as survivors, as Gospel here, I mean, we're in a really awkward position where your highly progressed generator isn't getting popped, and you have an injury up on the board, and Sen here has to sell for this pull, while Gunther is able to freely roam around and search, as he has plenty of time, knowing that no other gen is being progressed at this moment of time. So, I mean, the stealths haven't come out, and then, I mean, at first, you get a really good pull like from here, and I think the body blocks were getting a bit messy here. Sen probably shouldn't have taken that hit, but I think there was some mistakes happening, and Sen having sprint burst sprints all the way down onto the shack area, where he has a good pallet, good rock. I mean, not rock, car fillers to play with, and shack beside it. But Gunther, knowing more, does not opt for a go for it and goes to the top side and manages to catch New out, and that'll be the second tunnel with 2 other survivors being injured. I mean, this is just insane game sense coming from Gunther right here. Being able to, I mean, just a snipe. I would just call this a snipe all the way from shack onto the left side of the main building. And I mean, this is spelling problem. This is looking like a 4K2, and 4K2 on Blight on this map is not something you want if you are the survivors of Gospel.
Yeah, I remember when I was first casting Blight on this map a year ago, and a lot of the time we'd be seeing very, very common 4K1s or outs or 4K0s, but 4K2 was a result that was extremely rare to see, I would say, compared to everything else. By the way, though, Sen doing a good job around this palette. So yeah, I think Gunther can secure this. It would be an incredible kind of momentum shift for KaitOkids, coming from the nurse set loss, and you get to replay Oni again with the same killer Gunther who clutched it up in the set tie. If it comes to that, maybe I'm speaking a bit too soon, but yeah, it's just a good, really, really great performance from Gunther. That final to Nu is just insane, and he's also going to get the down onto Andrew too. But I don't really know, because Sen's gonna pre-leave the gen. There's not really much else he can do in this spot. Andrew's already been hooked, so there's no fresh bleed out there, and realistically, it could just be completely over if Sen gets found. But okay, Sen's doing his good work to make his way up the map or down the map. Okay, I'm a bit lost. No, across the map, I guess. It's just like, I don't know. It's just crazy, I guess. I'm losing my train of thought for some reason, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would be too. I mean, seeing this incredible performance coming from Gunther. I mean, 4K1 is definitely within expectation, but 4K2, I mean, maybe it's because of the balancing and limited perks survivors do have, and Gunther catching Sen out here on the edge map, even with sprint burst, is getting down. So, I mean, that would be his last fresh. So Gunther will opting to take that fresh, as he do know that even if Andrew were to bleed to death or would. I mean, I'm not too sure about the hatch rules, but I mean, Andrew has been hooked once, so at least he has secured all his freshes if that is what is important. So, um, I mean, yeah, just really well played from Gunther overall. I mean, incredible start and incredible fine and incredible, like, just overall really well played. I have nothing to say more, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's still going on though, so props to Gospel for for continuing this trial, but it's just it's just hard because the generators will keep on bleeding down. Eruption is of course still an incredibly valuable bug, despite the Andrew going for the the vaults. Unfortunately, will not be successful in making this compound save. Yeah, Eruption is just still really broken on any kill. Actually,
Oh,
wait, Sen,
oh,
I get this done. The Deja
oh
Vu might
no.
be enough to push it through,
Oh
but no,
no,
it's
but that V1
oh,
tech. Oh
he's
no.
trying to tap
Oh,
Sen.
oh my
Oh
god.
my god, that's insane. But yeah, not close enough. Deja nearly
Oh
clutched up,
my god.
but it just needed slightly more than Deja to push that Gen through. So yeah, that's 4K2. Closest shave for Gunther. Could have been a 4K1 if Sen did manage to get that gen done, but yeah, unfortunate for Gospel because that is a pretty monstrous win con, I would say, to go for. Well, maybe not monstrous, but yeah, difficult win condition for the killer to go for, who could be Addict or Sen. So that would be interesting to see on the Blight for Gospel's killer to contend with, which is Sen. So Sen's Blight 4K2, something you probably do see a bit more often when he does play this killer. But yeah, 4K2 is still a very solid win con, and this team still is very good to go for it. So yeah, Noah's going to take the first tag though. I think it's a little bit early, if I were to say, and not only is it an early tag though, Mr. Austin, but it is also the Delhi player. So yeah, maybe not the best of starts for KaitOkids, I would say.
I mean, definitely not the best start, as Cineros here does get tapped up on the one side of the map here, as he does not have anything to work with. He had a TNL wall to work with, to be precise, and with his exhaustion being balanced landing, that's really unfortunate that he can't make it out. And with Delhi being out of the game, and especially on the very first chase, this is looking like problems here. And I mean, still, Sen has a really tough task to do, which is to 4K2 to tie and 4K3 to win. But if there's anyone who's gonna clutch it other than Gunther, it's gonna be Sen. So you have to see what he's able to do with this start. He does get a clean pop up on the 9 side of the map, does opt out to rush back and go for probably camp and potentially just trying to spot someone out for the pool. We do see 2T-shirt leaving quite a bit early to set up for a nice not trade but pull. But Sen here trying to mine his gen a bit, goes back to the gen but rushes back to the mid map and fatigues, as he does need to walk down. Rods does not want him to reach main building, as that would be quite a resource that Sen will have to deal with otherwise. So the BT timer probably counting down here. Sen body blocking the entrance, incredibly well played by Sen, as he does not want Noros to reach there and goes for the flick but misses. Steneros is gonna opt out back onto the one side of the map, but as we have seen before, we don't have really anything to deal with other than this rock filler, which is really unsafe for the Blight. Sen tries to go for the mind game here as he flares around and misses the hit. However, Steneros tries to go for the dumpster truck dumpster car pallet here, but does not make it. So that will be the second hole coming really quickly for Sen.
And although it comes, fairly quickly, they do pop another gen for it. Like, compared to the other trial, perhaps Gunther did get the downs faster, but it was more spread across the other survivors. So I'm not really sure how to think of this spot because, yeah, it was like more hooks similar gen progress, but because the chases were shorter, um, it results in that. So yeah, no, still on the hook though, of course, around mid map, and I I'm curious to see what Kaido does about this. Do they want to go for like an aggressive unhook? Probably not. They probably should keep Nevos on there for a little bit longer because they need as many percentages on the gens as possible. Sen though, still trying to fake out the unhook, trying to, you know, rotate away and then trying to bait it out. But again, very good patience from KaitOkids. And Nevos might end up just dying here on hook. I mean, we did see the survivor around main. Maybe they run in at the last second, but I think it's a bit too late at this point. You know, these survivors are on ping, so they can't really go for the unhooks. But no, actually, Two Teacher comes in last second just as Sen checks main. Beautiful timing there on that for KaitOkids, and perhaps Sen's actually just opting to leave this, maybe take a tag onto Queenia, but Queenia makes the main fill up power and goes for the slow
Oh
roll
my.
over, so avoids the tag. So suddenly Sen is looking in a world of trouble because he needs to kill every survivor in the trial that is currently standing before one generator pops. And seeing Gunther's gen on this high progress, same as Queenia's, is going to give him some problems. Queenia grabs the stun of the main pallet. That's gone, but that health state is worth so much more because this gen is very, very close. So is Gunther's gen, as I was saying before. And it is just, yeah, just I don't even know how much Sen has to do here. It's going to have to be a lot because, oh boy, the tunnel
Oh
out also
boy.
gets reset here. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be difficult.
I mean, if he has to do something about it, and Gunther gets another vault, I mean, that probably was the slow vault, exactly like Kuniri on previously when he was at this palette. So, I mean, Sen needs a 4K now. He wants to win, and I mean, this kick onto the main wall is going to be really troublesome as Gunther gets a really nice flare onto this, preventing the, oh my god, the eruption from proccing, and that will be KaitOkids taking the Blight win, the set win, which means that we will be moving back onto the Oni set. Another slow wall coming in, and Sen just has to leave this as he does not want all of his gens to pop. He's still trying to play for the 4K one at least, but I mean, looking at the gen pressure, there's just like everything just going on too much. So, I mean, regardless, we will be definitely moving back onto the Oni set as there will be a replay. We did spot Two T-shirt going into the locker as we do see Two T-shirt hopping back out. I mean, at this point it's over, but. KaitOkids are also trying to do their best. Two T tries to go for the body block but misses it completely. Gunther going down. I mean, incredibly well played by the servers. I mean, what more can I say about that?
Yeah, Sen was just unfortunately put into a difficult win condition. KaitOkids somehow just, you know, putting on the gas when it's needed. And although Sen's getting the downs now, it's just a little bit too late. Nevos stayed alive for long enough. The unhooks were good enough, and they take away the set. So yeah, it is 1-1 tied. Who could have possibly thought that Gunther clutches up yet again for the umpteenth time, uncountable time for Gunther, I would say, because yeah,
Dear.
what a YouTube video this will be for him. We can revive
It'll
that.
be feeding families and ages to come. So I mean, I look forward to that. I mean, yeah, that's gonna be something I'm looking for. I mean, but first of all, they would need to win this set in order to make it meaningful. But I mean, he's already done enough to prove that he is the clutch factor. He is the clutch when the team needs it. But will it be enough to take the overall set? We'll have to see after the set. But I mean, the game's still not over. Sen still has work to do. He wants to 4K1, and the survivors, if they want to pull out, they will still have to play this. But I mean, it's looking really dire for Sen as Sen is going for a new fresh, and especially on these generators. It is still a 3-gen, but it is quite far. I mean, yeah, like one on the mid man, one on another generator on one is definitely really far away, and having a main building gen also doesn't help out as it is really hard to maneuver around them. So Sen here tries to catch someone out in Edoven, but does not spot anyone out except for Stainross, who has max resistance back onto Shaq. He already does find two teachers here stealthing right beside the rock, gets a clean tag onto him, and possibly gets it down here. However, he does have a dumpster truck to deal with here. Sen trying his best to mind game this, but I mean, at this point, I don't think he's going for two teacher. He opts back to the hook just now.
Yeah, this gen is a little bit too high progress for Sen to leave alone, and he's trying to catch out Survivor here. Does see Gunther, and Gunther is doing a nice body block to save Queenia from being down just for a bit. Yeah, it's I think a little bit unfair to say that Sen was going to get this result because he was sort of forced to play around the win con. That's one of the things about playing killer second when you've got this really difficult win con to meet. It's realistically not going to. It's either going to be met or it's going to be close, and that like kind of molds how this set is continue to be played. Like Sen could definitely. Okay, nice,
Oh,
nice crouch tech too, teacher. Okay, we see that. We see that. We see that.
yeah.
It kind of molded him to go off Rose and try and defend the gens, and then they popped it anyway. So he could have had the tunnel out and probably gotten close to a 4K1, 4K0 perhaps, 4K1 perhaps. But yeah, that's probably not the case now. 3 healthy survivors up and about, one injured, which is just got reset. So yeah, very very solid spot for our survivors. They're looking at stages out the door, I would guess, and I think they've deserved this based on that half that set half from Gunther.
Oh.
Both set halves I would say from Gunther. Just yeah, really nicely done, Oni. There's no taking a tag though. He's gonna send it straight to Shaq, and doesn't seem like there's like too much progress. But of course that other gen being doubled, so when I say too much progress, it's probably like 99 by this point, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just looking really bad for Sen's position. I mean, either one, he's gonna get head on. I mean, I was just gonna say that is that he's either gonna run out of kicks or the survivors are just gonna pop everything in time, as they do have healthy survivors up on the board. So Sen here tries to go for the flick but misses it, breaking the pallet. I mean, Gunnar just doing a great job lasting here as he goes back to the main building gen immediately. I mean, 4 healthy survivors right now, and okay, I guess that was a close one. I mean, Sen coming back to kick the gen, and I think he does spot Gunther out, but does not land a hit on him. I mean, yeah, for healthy states, healthy survivors, and with gens running out of kicks, I mean, I could see a lot of stages going out through a door. Gunther here, the man who did it on the Killer last game, and oh my god, that's just aura farming, getting that fastball onto the main building and instead missing the tag. I mean, Senron's here, being a Death Hook survivor, having this gen as basically 99. I mean, Sen can't really afford to chase for too long, otherwise it will be all pop. So Sen, knowing this, has to go for something crazy and tries to go for it, but he's not winning the 50s, and oh my god, it's just 2 t-shirts. They're waiting for the body block, and it doesn't even come through until a little bit later. And at this point, I think main is also about to be procced, as both of the stars are doubling, and yeah, that will be the 5 generators completed. Looking towards outs as Sen chases down the stars onto the shack side of the map.
Yeah, KaitOkids again. Just has that great win con, plays it really really well, and now they're looking at, as I said before, as you said, Austin, stages out the door against Sen's Blight. Yeah, just well played. It was of course tied up 1-1, and Oni, on the other hand, is I'm curious to see how that goes, because I would say that KaitOkids, like, they're really pumped at the moment. They're locked in. They really want to go for this reverse sweep, and seems like actually maybe does Gunther make it out the door? That'd be funny if he does. But I think oh wait, he's actually out. So 4 stages on the board for KaitOkids. That's an incredible result, of course. 2 teacher actually does make it out the door. So I eat my own words. 6 stages for KaitOkids on the Blight. But yeah, really really impressive stuff in this tiebreaker, which is not the tiebreaker anymore, because the second set was tied, which will now become the new tiebreaker in this series. And yeah, I guess we just have to see, because it's as close as it could possibly be between these 2 teams. It cannot get any closer than 1-1 in this series. And Oni, the set we saw before, 4K1, we had an incredible result on the Oni, 4K1. and Gunther comes back to really put his foot in the works of Gospel's plans. Saying that though, Gibbsy's back on the Oni, so perhaps we can see a 4K1. Perhaps it'll be a little bit different. But ooh, Two Teacher takes a very early tag again, so a bit of a deja vu from the previous trial. So yeah, again another early tag, but how will this pan out, Austin? How do you think it will pan out?
I mean, we did have see a lot of early tags, but this, I mean, both of the games were leading to 4K and eventually led to 4K1. So we'll see how the servers will have to deal with this situation yet again. I mean, the fourth game, okay, an incredible stun from Two Teacher, almost getting down onto Shuffle. I was gonna say a fourth game in a best of 3. I mean, how more beautiful could that be? And Gibbsy here opting to collect the blood orbs, and we do see I think that was a head-on setup by Gunther there on the jungle gym, but Gibbsy not following, not walking to T-shirt, decides to collect the I would say power here and walks towards his generators onto the top side. I think he might not want to spot someone up there doing the generators, so he's going to take his time. He's gonna walk up onto the one side of the map. Does not see anyone at the current moment, and Gunther gets a nice and clean reset on Two Teacher here. So Gibbsy's task right now is to find whoever who's doing the gen and pop the power to kill them. I mean, we do spot Quinir up here onto the main building without balance landing. He does get a good drop where he has a pallet right next to the drop location, so he's still safe for now. And Gibbsy here is gonna check lockers, believing that Quinir was the head-on, but no, Quinir has already pre-sold and went to the other area. So Gibbsy now is in a really tough position. If he gets stealth, if this power gets stealth, it could spell troubles for the Gospel Killer Gibbsy.
Yeah, it's such a good start, but KaitOkids are the ones with a slight advantage going into this Demon Dash. Two Teachers here at the main building is going to get spotted, but I think this power's already nearly halfway gone. Two Teacher might realize, okay, Gibbsy's around the other side and has to play the pallet, because he definitely won't make the window from here. So can he really play this out, though, against Gibbsy's ping? He's still trying. The ping, the patience on both sides, and Two Teacher goes to the double vault, but Gibbsy didn't commit, and now he gets the down, so that was really, really nicely done. But still, that's a full power run out from that first tag. That's a nice recovery, I would say, from KaitOkids to, you know, to make sure that the first tag doesn't result in too much pressure for Gibbsy. So, though this first hook comes in, as we've seen in the previous 3 trials, Austin, no pain res because of the budget. So our survivors don't have to worry about pain res. You know, that's even kind of, it's kind of more insane thinking about how both the killers, both Gibbsy and Gunther, on the Oni set, got 4K1s without pain res in their back pocket. And, you know, again, that's all due to the budget, but it's still, you know, you see pain res everywhere, so usually you'd think that when you take it off, maybe it would be a worse result for the killer. But yeah, back-to-back 4K1. Gibbsy's also getting an extremely good start here to this trial. But of course, it's not over just yet. There's still, as you say, as I say, a lot of work to do. So yeah, no power for Gibbsy. He has to work with trying to find the next survivor by, you know, seeing them. But so far, KaitOkids again doing a good job of just avoiding Gibbsy altogether.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the first problem for Gibbsy was solved, which was that he was getting stealth, but he did find his first survivor, and he did get it down with the power, but that came at a cost where he is now powerless, and essentially he has to wait to get another tag or to wait until his power meter fills up and he can collect the blood orbs and get his power. Meanwhile, the survivors are probably just gonna 3-split or, I mean, double a gen. Yeah, they're 3-splitting, and that just makes them have 3 really high progress gens up on the trial. I mean, a trade is definitely not a play here for the survivor because that would mean giving Gibbsy power. So the survivors here are just gonna have to be a lot more patient than the killer to play this out. And Quinner here getting a good drop onto the jungle gym here almost gets the mind game here, but luckily has a window to play with. So Quinner is going to be last, but I think walks into the killer and with on ping and bamboozle is going to take the first hit. I mean, I don't think that was the correct play from Quinir, just giving power to Gibbsy now, and now Gibbsy back with the power, now possibly with the control back into the game. However, Gunther is going to pop the gen right on his face, so Gunther is going to go. Okay, Gibbsy's not going for the chase here, opting to go back onto the top side of the map to find his to protect his 3-gen up here. I mean, possibly 4-gen, considering that 3-gen is also relatively close on the top side. I mean, gets the incredible find to Stanros here in the main building and gets it down quite a bit early. So that will be the third hook on this trial. I mean, second hook, but yeah, third phase. Third phase of this trial onto Stanros.
Yeah, but I don't really know how much this is going to transfer into Gibbsy's favor. You know, he did get a lot of pressure from it, but two teachers off the hook is healthy, and also they managed to get two generators done. Which okay, they were gonna pop, but they still you still need to put time into a high progress gen to pop it. So they still get two gens done for it, and this trial is looking way better for for KaitOkids than the previous one where Gibbsy had a kill at 3-2 generators remaining. So yeah, their goal now is just continue applying pressure. They have the percentages, they have the gen pressure to go for outs. Whether they will get that is a different question. Gunther, you running to the edge map, very interesting decision there. I guess it's assessed that doesn't want to interrupt the main building gen, but it doesn't really matter at this point. So yeah, two teacher jumps off. I guess Gibbsy's already left, satisfied with blocking that exhaustion, and actually picks up power from this Ormond tile. I'm surprised he actually managed to get enough power and blood to do that. Finds two teacher. Oh dear, two teacher. That is not the place you want to be. You want to be as far away from Gisby as possible, and gets to actually nicely done. Actually, I thought he dropped the pallet there, but he still has plenty of resources through there. Gets hit through the pallet though.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, that would be the tunnel out. I mean, that was an incredible ping hit. I mean, they're on around the 130 ms, I suppose. So Gibbsy are not picking up his tunnel, however, wants to go for more. I think he might have spotted someone out here, but decides to finally pick up and secure this tunnel out. So that will be the first survivor dead at 2 generators remaining. I mean, oh yeah, there was definitely someone here, which was Quinier. So a nice stealth by him. Could have possibly been worse. He could have been spotted out and potentially led to 2 slugs. But as of now, they're playing a three-person game where the Oni has no power, so they're gonna have to play it slow. They're gonna have to slowly crank these gens out without giving Gibbsy the tag he needs. So, but Gibbsy has a lot of to work with. He has a 4-gen onto the top side, so that could mean that he could possibly bait out some awkward positions from survivors, which could lead to hits and Senaros gambling that Gibbsy is going to walk through the other side and wins the gamble. So Senaros here will be living as he walks towards Shag. Although the palette has been used, he still has a window to work with, so this could take some time, and if a lot of time is wasted here, this could mean more gens being popped, and Gibbsy does not want that. So Zeron's going to be holding for his dear life onto this rock filler and wins the mind game and sends it all the way to these I believe it is 8th palette right here, but loses the 5th here with bloodless on. So that would be the power. That would be the power for Gibbsy as he opens his power and goes back to check on the generator. If the Solaris here manages to get a stealth here, this could mean trouble. So all Gibbsy needs is a find. But will he get that is the real question. He does spot someone out here onto the TNL, but does not catch who it is. He does see some scratch mark that is Quinier up on the hill, so it is getting a bit close, and Gibbsy does finally spotting out. It did take quite some time, so that would be the 50 plate, and Quinier loses it and is going to get hooked. I believe that would be the top mid hook if I'm not wrong, Tavi.
Yeah, and I can just imagine how much different this would be if two teacher wasn't found in main. I mean, although he did get a bit of time from the chase, he should not have been found there. He should not have been found right at right at the place where Gibbsy was. And actually Gunther doesn't get this gen done, so that means pop comes through. And yeah, imagine if they just had a little bit more time, they'd be able to push through this gen and maybe even start pressuring another one to a dangerous amount. This one, it was perhaps a little bit a potential to pop that, but it's obviously gone now. So it's pretty much just riding their hopes on this topside gen. Oh, actually, Nerosa's gen. Okay, I eat my own words. Nerosa's gen is very high progress. but it's like it's still hard because of the amount of blood that is on the map, and also the fact that two teacher was a balanced landing survivor means that they can't really work main that safely. So Gibbsy can just feel free to ignore main and just pressure the other survivors. And Queenie is going to get found here. Can't make the locker in time. Beautiful flick by Gibbsy. Oh my gosh, what is that? And he's just going to go back with the eruption. But oh, Gunther, nicely done. Doesn't give away the eruption aura, so actually stealths away fairly nicely and gets a stun. So he is found, but not down, which is much more important. And actually gets away with that corner attack. That's insane. And Gunther goes again. Slow vault gonna work on Gibbsy too, not just Sen, as the other gen pops in the background. Oh, Gibbsy does win this. But yeah, it's enough time for Nerosa's gen to pop. Now Gibbsy's out of power. There's still a bit of game left to play, but unfortunately Gunther's on this high progress gen, so it's gonna get popped. And I don't really know if it can, if they are gonna pop another gen here, because Gibbsy could realistically just camp this. Look at this 3 gen here, by the way. It's just not possible to break Austin.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking like the same story again. I mean, the Survivors had a great start, but it is still looking like a possible 4K1 with his power almost up as he find his blood orbs here, and with especially that tight 3 gen that we do see on the top side, and with that hook precisely placed, and Gibbsy here spawning on Xenos here, but does not opt to go for him as he does not have the power here. Gunther is going to get pulled here on the top side as we do spot him out up here on the top side. This guy's go for the power here and probably tries to get to catch someone out here if possible. Gibbsy goes back onto the top onto main building. I apologize, trying to find someone out here, but does not spot someone else. Spots Squinner here, however, gets the quick down here, and I think is going to pick up. No, actually goes for. Okay, does pick it up. Okay, gave me a little bit of shock there, Gibbsy. I almost ate my own words, but oh dear, I'm getting a body block here. I'm not too sure what the play is. Maybe they're trying to body block such that the gen is popped in time, but I don't think that is the case, Tabi. So we'll have to see what's going on.
I guess that could have been a really heads up play, but unfortunately it's just not enough for this gen to pop. And now, oh, actually somehow Gunther getting away from this. So did I say he's getting away? He's far away from this, but he's picked up. Gibbsy picked up on him just right now and is now on his tail. Yeah, wow. I'm still surprised Kaido's in this match, considering it is an Oni with power and Nervous goes down. So just as I say that, he's gonna get put back on hook. Yeah, I'm still surprised they're in this, because this is realistically completely unwinnable for them. There's no way, right? There's no way they can pop this 3 gen if all the survivors are injured and there's only 3 in the trial. Like, there's no way, right? Every instinct tells me that they can't, but they are trying, and they're putting a bit of pressure onto Gibbsy, making him work just a bit more for the 4K1, which is so close. But again, any kind of mistake, any sort of error, and maybe KaitOkids will have a way back into this. Okay, goodbye Queenia, but you're out of the trial now, so there's no more dilly-dallying there. So yeah, that probably wraps it up. But yeah, 4K1, Gunther was very diligent to get it before, so I'm just, yeah, I'm very curious to see how the next trial pins out, because Gunther, yeah, needs to 4K1 again. This is Nero's going down.
Oh dear.
And yeah, 4K1.
I mean, I don't want to say it's an expected result, but when you see something that goes around for 3 times in a row, then there's something we can talk about it. So another 4K1 coming in for Gibbsy. He's done it once, he's done it twice. The question is, will Gunther be able to do it, or will he be able to top it with a 4K2? That is the real question. So we'll have to see if that will be the case. So I think we'll be catching you guys right back after the intermission.
Survivor perks, and I just realized that they played with those exact same perks in the previous trial of the Oni, just 2 sets ago. Well, unfortunately, Austin had to leave me at this untimely hour, but it is an untimely hour. right now. But I'm joined with another legend caster. Hello, Mr. Hasso. How you doing, man?
Yeah, look, I'm good. I was actually about to tuck myself into bed and call it a night, but I got a ping, so I was like, I'll check it out, see what's up. And here we are, we're casting now, late game, but it's a good game. I've been watching my second monitor throughout the night, and yeah, I mean, I'm keen to see how this is played. Obviously, off 4K one, if that's what you said. I just tabbed out, to be brutally honest, as I was going to shut my PC off, so I'm not too sure what result Gunther's chasing to win. Is it a 4K two?
Yeah, it is a 4K2, and he's locked in, I think. It's just... Okay, he's chasing cash around this, but this is not safe on ping.
Yeah, I mean, Cash does have life though, so that's going to work out to his advantage there, and which going to make main here. But obviously the bamboozle will come into effect, so very nicely done. I think, we're running a fairly stock standard build. Obviously, Nu has to be BL here, and he is in D, but I don't know if you'll have anything to work with. This could just be an early tag because we are in BL2. This should be a tag here on the ping, and there we go. There's the ping kicking in right there. Unfortunately, Nu gives away a tag nice and early, and he tries to greed this part of towards 2, and it's not going to work out, and we have gotten it down, so that is unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, pretty strong build. Obviously, no pain res, but pop being the counter to that, which does work out to Gunther's advantage. So it's good to see. I think it's the same build that he had as Gibbsy. So overall, still a fairly strong build, and I do like what these survivors doing. If we could have a quick flick over to Cash, see where he's working his generator, see he's working main. So that is very. I'm not too sure about that. I mean, unless Gunther doesn't check main, which it does look like he is, this could just be another tag, which would only cause even more problems. Cash is going to have to just drop down very nice and early. Or there's the door gone, so this will just be problems here. Cash is going to send it down straight away, and he's going to even get away, so very nicely done. Now, Tavi did see Gunther did get a 4K2 on the Blight, so his confidence would be fairly high, you'd have to say, especially coming in and getting on the Oni. So, what do you think, mate?
I regarded Gunther's YouTube channel to some respect. He likes uploading there once in a while, and one of the last uploads I did watch was him on I guess what would you call it, a clutch arc against Renewal. So that was a really really great watch, at least for me. So yeah, now he comes back in this Oni set. Well, in the previous Oni set, gets a 4K1, follows it up with a 4K2 on Blight, and then also gets pretty much a 2-tap onto Nu, who's now going to go second stage. Yeah, very very nice stuff here, and also gets a free tag onto Cash. There's an unfortunate timing there for him, but yeah, that's the tag coming through. Gunther now gets power, and maybe we'll be able to camp out the hook here, because he's got the Demon Dash ready, and he's not not interested in letting Nu get away. Maybe actually we'll pick up Sen here, because Sen is nope, never mind. We're going after Nu because we are confident about getting this tunnel out, and Nu probably won't be able to make it anywhere because of the perk selection. Has balanced landing, nowhere near main though, and we know that. So he's just trying to make the best out of this fill of power. Does get around it, but oh, Gunther stopped a little bit short. I think thought that he would vault, and now I think Nu is going down because of the leap. So that is just like that, Hassler. That is the tunnel out of 3 gens. It is just incredible to me how Gunther just... I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the pressure of the tournament. They're giving away tags early on both teams, but then it's just incredible how the trials play out from here, because I would not put it out of gospel to continue to fight for this 4K1, because Andrew's gen's popping, and although there's some blood on the map, he doesn't really have too much pressure apart from the injuries. So like, it is still quite a reality where gospel do pop to, well, one gen, because Andrew's gen's gonna pop in time, but no, he's forced off, and main won't pop for this. So oh dear, this could be problems again. So yeah, I don't know, man. Gunther is just like, tonight's just been on fire, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, Gunther hasn't really made any mistakes. I've been watching, and he's sort of, on both sides of the table to Survivor as well. I mean, I do have to say, I mean, this has been back and forth between KaitOkids and Gospel. Oh no, it could be the game wrapped up here. We do somehow miss, and this still will be a down onto somebody's going to die into towards the edge of the map here on the bottom side. So it's a good death, but look, I think we've got an understanding of where Cash is. That main gen will pop. We do have an understanding of where J Cash is. Cash has dropped the pallet. He's gonna run around the rock, so it is gonna work out in his favor, but yeah, it definitely does look like this will just be a down here, unfortunately. Cash greedy at that is diabolical, and Cash just running away. Even though he's got life to his advantage, this might buy a little bit more time for the bloke Andrew to get the pick, and this is gonna just be too close. If we never look over to the killer, see how much more power he's got. It doesn't even show, which is just a terrible part of this game, but Dead by Daylight, what do you expect? Nonetheless, but Gunther's gonna miss. This actually could buy them some time. Maybe Sen will even force locker. No, we've still got Shaq powered up, so it's gonna work to our advantage. But yeah, oh my god, look at the blood just set up right there. That's not power yet. It will be very shortly, you'd assume. But Tavi, I mean, they need a 4K1 to tie. From where I see it, where the power is, 1 on the ground, 2 injured, about to be 2 on the ground. What? Oh my god. And he gets the pick. It's beautiful.
Yo, what was that from Guppy? He went for the 180. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out, but he still is on the tail of Cash. You know, Cash can't really get away for too long, considering how many resources there are left on this map, and where Sen is, he's still, you know, kind of zoned away from the pickup. So what more can happen here? That, I guess, a locker pick. But it is just grasping at straws. There's really not too much. I think our survivors can continue on in this trial. Like, sure, Sen might get a pickup, but there's a hook very close by. So, like, it's just, yeah, diabolical Gunther, man. Congrats, because this performance is insane. Started from, again, I'll say it again, started from the set down from the nurse, brings it back with the Oni performance, ties it with 4K1, and now looking at potential 4K2 territory. I was going to say definitely 4K2, but again, Gospel doing a great job, fantastic job to keep themselves alive in this trial, since, you know, they managed to get away from this with minimal, I guess, losses, or with like minimal acceptable losses. So, like, yeah, they're still doing a great job, but Gunther is, yeah, just really showing up. But yeah, all it takes a few mistakes, and I think Gunther could definitely be out of this. Or not out of this, but perhaps a little bit worried. You know, I was saying that before with, I think it was Gibbsy's Oni. So yeah, same will apply here. Sen goes down in the basement. The unhook comes through, but Gunther's already right back with the power. This jungle gym is up, so maybe see someone around here. But the other survivors off to the top side of the map. No, you are not Andrew. And that's just, again, Gunther's game sense coming into clutch, going for that down. And Cash, I think he might make the, yeah, he does make the pickup, but they won't both be able to make it out of the basement. So yet again, they're just stuck in this forever loop of, you know, forcing the downs to just shift away. And there's not really much they can do about it because of the injuries on the board. So yeah, Sen gets out of here, Cash goes back on hook, but yeah, it's just, if Gospel pull this back though, that would be a generational save from them.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's definitely it's been a problem for them. Especially Tavu, and we both saw live and clear. There's a stun, sorry, but live and clear we saw the reset between Sen and Cash at Shaq. That was a problem here, and I think that was just the turning point of this game, to be completely honest. But yeah, it's just literally playing ping pong. I don't think Sen's gonna. Well, he will get this, but we'll have to trade, and I might need a match staff to correct me if I'm wrong. But what happens if Andrew bleeds out fresh? Does that mean it is? Do they still win the set, or is it? Look, I don't know how the scoring works between the Even though I've been sent it a million times, I don't know what the ruling is if a fresh gets ruled, and that is ridiculous. Unfortunate from Gunther to not get the down there, but we'll see what has been said. Gen's first Gospel needs to pop one more gen for tie/win. So there you go. If they pop another gen and then a bleed out, a fresh bleed out would happen, it means Gospel would win. But it is just looking problematic. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been problematic for a while now, Tavi, and there's not much you can do really at this point in time. You're just playing for your life, and unless we get an unhook here, yeah, I'd just call it a 4K2. I don't think there's much they can do, to be brutally honest. The hook is not in a good location for the survivors, and Gunther's just set up perfectly. He's got power. There's not much he can really do, and yeah, it's just real problematic to be completely honest with you, Tavi.
Yeah, it's just, again, continuous cycle over and over again. Survivors getting put on a hook. I think Gospel are making good progress, though, to stop that. They're trying their best. They are making it happen, but I just think they're out of time. They just don't have enough of it to really stabilize themselves and fight too much. Because Gunther, every time there's that chance, Gunther just says, no, I'm going to bloodhound you down, even though I'm not the one who has the perk. I'm just going to find everyone and capitalize on their positions, and that's exactly what he's done throughout this entire trial. Gonna just get a bit of blood here. He's out of power, I think, for the most part, for at least the time being, and he's gonna collect a little bit more. But again, Gospel, very, very difficult scenario for them to be in. Sen actually does get a pull though, so yeah, very. Wow. Perhaps Gunther wasn't ready for that, because now they have 3 injured in the trial. There is a good amount of chances for Gospel. Even though Cash is in chase, he's Death Hook. If it lasts for a while, they can just pop another gen for this. So there is still that. There's still a bit of worrisome for Gunther if he can't get the down. But you know, there's only this one filler here, and he's just happy to lead because this 3-gen setup is so strong. So what is Gospel going to do about this? He collects power again, and is just playing around this area. It's all up to Gunther to drive, how, you know, to he's in the driving seat is what I mean. And he takes it down to Andrew. He still has a good amount of power left. He's probably going to slug the gens. Actually, he just picks up, you know, assesses the gens aren't close enough to completion. And again, what are the survivors going to do about it? They don't have enough progress to stop Gunther from just hooking over and over again, no matter really how long the chases go for, as long as it's not long enough. There's no chance that the gen's popping.
Yeah, there's an unhook, but I think Tavi, I mean, like we said, it'd be generational. If somehow, even to meet the tie, obviously they're definitely not winning this from where it stands. But if they can meet the tie somehow, oh my god, Andrew, that is ridiculous to just crouch and fake out the vault. But if they can manage to tie this, I mean, I don't know. No, we could actually buy time. I'm not too sure if the spectator's back from grabbing a bit to eat, but this could be the chance if we see it down here. Andrew's just sending it away. Andrew's played. Oh my god, they're doubling. They could do it. They could do it here, Tavi. They literally could do it. Eruption's procced, and I don't think Andrew has calmed it, so that is problematic, and we're just going to opt to slug. So this is just problems. You know, I have to give it to Andrew. Oh my god, J Cash has pulled out the Kunir tech and started slow vaulting on ping. That is just not what you need, but it's worked out. But, you know, as I was saying, I think if these guys can somehow bring it back even to a tie, somehow it would be generational. It would be ridiculous, out of this world. It could be possibly one of the greatest comebacks we've seen, from the fact that they were in a locker, you know, both survivors in a locker at Shack. It should have been a 4K2 long ago, but there still is a small bit of hope for Team Gospel. I know Sen would definitely be. He's been around. All these players have been around for a long, long time, so I'm sure they're not really too nervous at all. They just know that there's a job to do and they've got to try and get it. But this will be a down onto the bro Andrew. And I think this is just real problems here. Sen needs to somehow last. We're going to force the locker. I don't think that's going to be time, though, to pick up Andrew. So that's very nice. And that is Sen not dead either. So even if he does opt to hook in the end, it still would work out. But it is looking a little bit back and forth, Tavi, as it has been for the good 10 minutes. But yeah, what do you think? Like, do you think there is a very small, slight chance of hope? I mean, they played this so well, Gospel.
And I'm getting goosebumps because I think Gunther can feel a bit of the pressure. He was a little bit impatient with Andrew's chase. It costed a bit of time previously, but he's still in such a good spot because of Eruption. That one perk really coming in clutch is why everyone wants to bring it. It's why it's worth $5. Side note there, $5. But it's like it's still incredible. Again, incredible fight from both teams. Andrew's going to get caught out again. I think this will probably be the last chase because the Gens have regressed, I think, for long enough for Gunther to go for a very fast hook and then rotate back to the Gens. And they are doubling it, actually. They might get it in time, but it's going to be very close. I think it's just enough to secure it, but it's just not enough. Somehow Gunther keeps on getting away with this, misses the swing, catch though.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! No, stop it!
And it's gonna be a 4K1 tie again. Oh my god, what is going on? What is on my screen?
I might shit the bed. What the actual fuck has just happened? Pardon the language, but Gospel has just pulled off the most generational tie I genuinely think I've ever seen. The fact that we've been able to do that under the circumstances given, two were in basement at one point, that being Sen and Cash, one exited, one stayed in, and we've managed to pop a gen somehow. In no world should that happen, Tavi. In no world should that ever happen.
No, Gunther, don't give him hatch, don't give him hatch. Okay, well, at least, okay, Gunther's gonna close hatch in time. No way. And that closes it out. That closes it out.